Spring training baseball on Fox Sports South is presented by Landmark Automotive Group. And things are getting exciting here in Central Florida. For 1 week from tonight, we'll be playing games that matter. Opening day in Atlanta at Turner Field, April 4th. Still some unfinished business and some decisions to be made for the Braves and the Brain Trust as they host the Houston Astros here on a cloudy night for baseball at Champion Stadium. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe. It's been a busy last couple of days for John Coppolella. We'll get to those moves in just a moment. But a big storyline tonight is the man on the mound for the Braves, Mike Foltynewicz.
Yeah, I think Mike Foltynewicz has moved along a lot quicker than anybody expected, Chip. He's only made 2 outings so far this spring, but he has opened everybody's eyes with the lightning that's coming out of his hands. This is some video from last year, but he is firing the baseball. His last work over in Kissimmee against these same Astros and against perhaps their opening day lineup, he was electric. So he is not too far away from joining the rotation, and the Braves have very high hopes for him in 2016.
And here's some of the numbers for Mike Foltynewicz. As a starter last year, 4-6. But we talked to him, Joe. He says after the rib surgery, free and easy, and that may be the biggest difference.
Well, that's pretty obvious the way the ball's coming out of his hands. We'll also talk about some of his numbers when he gets ahead in the count. One of the things that he can do this year that he didn't do last year is maybe throw some strikes early in the count. It'll make a big difference for him.
Supporting Mike today will be what could be Freddie Gonzalez's opening day lineup. We'll give that to you and get to our first pitch from Orlando right after this. Mike Foltynewicz taking his warm-up tosses, getting ready to make his spring start. A very important start for Mike, who has a much bigger picture than baseball on his mind today.
They told me when I was in the hospital you might not ever be able to pitch again, but that was just their job to tell you. And hey, they didn't know I was a pitcher at that time. So, but it's just something that when you're sitting there in the hospital bed and they tell you that, it kind of just sinks in, and you kind of just have a new perspective on the game and life. So I'm just, my goal this year is to get out there, get healthy, and actually pitch a game.
So, Joe, it wasn't just removing a rib for Mike Foltynewicz. This truly is a second chance at baseball, perhaps a second chance at life.
No question about it. When you're told that you may not even get to play again, it does create a new perspective for you. There are the numbers from his last outing against the Astros. 5 strikeouts and 3 2/3 and only 1 walk.
George Springer jumps all over the first pitch of the night, drives it deep toward left, and it's gone. It's 1-0 Houston. George Springer jumped all over a fastball, and Houston strikes first here in the first.
Well, now, George Springer, not usually the leadoff guy for the Astros, but he puts a charge in one there to give them an early lead, and on a good fastball too.
Well, these Astros ought to know Mike pretty well. He was a former Astros farmhand. So Springer with his first spring homer as the Astros in front. Here's Colin Moran. He pops the first pitch up. High bar and short near the line. Puts the squeeze on that. There's out number 1. Carlos Correa.
Freddie Gonzalez and the Braves brass have been talking about Fultonevich being brought along slowly. Maybe by the end of April, he could be ready to rejoin the rotation, but the way he's been pitching, that might be moved up.
As I'm sure has been talked about on our air with Jim and Don on the Braves radio side, the way the schedule falls with the off days, the Braves don't need a 5th starter until April 12th. Opening day is April 4th, so there is some extra time for a Fultonevich or a Perez or a Banuelos or a Gant to perhaps slide into that 5th spot. Week and a half in the regular season. Correa takes a little low, 2 balls and a strike.
Well, he certainly got a wake-up call today. First pitch, a little slap after having pitched so well, to remind him that you still got to make good pitches.
Bouncer toward third, and that's in the left field. As Garcia couldn't handle, so Correa's aboard. 1 in, 1 on, and 1 out for Colby Rasmus.
This probably would be an error.
It is. And here's Rasmus. He's hit 3 homers this spring. He's knocked in 12. That's in for a quick strike. Let's check out our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. I know what Mike's calling card is.
Yes, it is. Hard fastball. Not that far behind those other guys above him. Noah Syndergaard 1.5 miles faster.
Just missed the corner, even count.
But as we've talked about so many times in the past, it doesn't matter how hard you throw, if you're constantly pitching behind in the count, it becomes an issue against major league hitters.
Chased back to first, the reigning rookie of the year for the Astros. Was promoted on June 8th. Hit 22 homers that day to the end of the regular season.
One of the great players in the game already.
Jose Altuve, a terrific combination up the middle for Astros club that made the playoffs last year. Finished a couple of games behind the Rangers. Continue their great rivalry in the AL West here in 2016. Rasmus all over that and pulled it well foul. It's 2 strikes.
Astros have had a good spring as a team. They've hit 35, now 36 home runs, compared to the Braves 15.
Sounds like their ball club second in the American League in homers last year were the Astros. Runner goes, good jump, fouled away. Rasmus check to Correa. And he'll see another 1-2 count. Houston had an interesting Easter weekend. They got to play some games in Mexico City against the Padres. Yesterday was not a lot of fun for them. They lost 21-6. Bouncing ball. Freeman spears that. He'll find a second for one. The turn is in time. Beautiful double play. 3-6-1. And the Springer leadoff homer gets the scoring started in Orlando. Braves are coming up.
Brave.
George Springer's leadoff homer puts Houston in front. Here's Freddie Gonzalez's lineup, one that you might see opening day against the Nationals, and a former National now pitching for Houston goes to work here in the first.
That's Doug Fister, 32 years old. Last 2 years with the Nationals, had a good year in 14, not so good last year. Sinker slider guy. He's got a heavy sinker that he needs, and last year did not have, but a 16-game winner 2 years ago.
Fister had some injury problems, flexor tendon and forearm issues that really sidetracked him for the Nationals. Well, deep in their rotation, and with the addition of Ken Giles at the end of the game, Astros feel very good about their pitching staff going into regular season play. Ender Inciarte leads off for the Braves. Terrific spring so far in Orlando. He's knocked in 5. He's hitting .372. Inside corner. Inciarte took it. He's out number 1.
Getting our first look at home plate umpire Jeremy Riggs. And so is Ender Inciarte, who didn't think much of it.
That'll bring up Eric Ibar. He's knocked in 4 runs on the spring. Inciarte and Ibar likely the top 2 hitters for the Braves in front of Freddie Freeman. Garcia 4th, Markakis 5th. Just like that. No balls, 2 strikes. Hit the other way. This pick on a tricky hop. and Ibar is retired. There's out number 2 for Freddie Freeman.
Freddie's feeling good. That's all that matters down here. And on top of that, good numbers. 4 homers. That's the most on the team. Tied for the team high in RBIs.
And Houston has a shift. Downstairs for Freddie Freeman.
Braves let a potential backup first baseman go today, and they also traded for one. Nick Swisher has been released. He and his $15 million contract. The Braves made a minor league trade acquiring Tyler Moore from the Washington Nationals. Moore's been assigned to the minor league camp, but a good major league hitter in the past.
Well, I said the other day I was a little worried about John Capalelli. He hadn't made any major roster moves. Well, that certainly changed in the past 24 to 36 hours. But he's also got Eric O'Flaherty back. Off the bullpen, fly ball into left center field, and that will retire to the side. Doug Fister gets the Braves in order and leads 1-0 after 1.
It's right.
In the last 48 hours. This is the time of spring where you'll see a very thick transaction wire around the big leagues.
Yeah, big move to get Eric O'Flaherty from the Pirates. The Braves really had 0 options in the bullpen for a left-handed reliever. So to pick up a guy of Eric's stature is quite a nice pickup. Mentioned the Tyler Moore acquisition from Washington for minor league infielder Nate Fryman. The Nick Swisher release and Alex Torres, another lefty, optioned out.
So at the moment, the Braves have 35 active players in camp. 10 more cuts have to be made before opening day, April 4th. As Carlos Gomez hits and takes a ball. He unloads deep toward left, and Oliveira back onto the warning track, and that one's on top of the batting cages. 2 solo homers to lead off the first 2 innings for the Astros. They lead 2-0.
Springer hit his well. Gomez crushed his. There's no wind to speak of. This was full extension on one of those big swings from Gomez, and no doubt about it.
So 2 long solo homers for Houston. Preston Tucker is the batter. Tucker's the Houston left fielder. He's hit a couple of homers. That one's hammered down the right field line. Will that one stay fair? It will. Back-to-back homers to start the second. It's 3-0.
Straight inner third part of the plate. Nice turn by Tucker. 2 long ones on 2 fastballs.
So 3-0 Houston. Nobody out in the second. This is Tyler White. Last time out, the Braves lost to the Nationals 7-2. Julius Chassin, 10 hits, 5 runs, 2 of them earned in 5 innings. The Braves did announce their first 3 starters for the regular season today as well. It'll be Julio Teheran on opening day. Bud Norris will pitch game 2. Matt Whistler is going to pitch the first game of the Cardinals series, or the 3rd game of the year. White hits one a mile toward left center field. And Ciarte going back onto the warning track. Not there. 1 man down. I think it's safe to say, Joe, that 7 days to go until the opening bell. Spots 4 and 5 are still very much undecided.
No question about it. And these last few outings for some guys will go a long way toward determining who's going to be there. Williams Perez is expected to come in and pitch for Fultonevich this evening, and he is a candidate also to return to the rotation.
This is Jason Castro. He's the Houston catcher. Takes a strike.
Good first pitch breaking ball.
Braves shift for Castro, who takes high. If there's an indispensable player for Houston, at least in the early days of the season, it might be this man. They do not have much catching depth. In fact, their plan is to maybe use Evan Gattis as a backup from time to time, but Gattis probably won't be ready to go at the start of the season. He's coming back from hernia surgery. Castro, all of, if not the bulk of the playing time behind the plate. Houston opens up against the Yankees on the road at Yankee Stadium. Scorched toward Ciarte, right at 2 out. Everything with the exception of Moran's pop-up has been hit very hard.
And his fastball is not really at the level that we saw his first 2 outings. This being his 3rd outing, there may be something to that, in that, you know, the so-called tired arm. This is late in spring training, but sometimes it hits the pitchers earlier in camp after a couple of outings where there's a little fatigue that sets in. But he's around 93, where he's been 95 to 98 already this spring.
Worth got tied up, fouled it off at the plate. No balls and a strike. That was just foul. I mean, you talk about a Willie Mosconi special. That thing was bouncing right by the bag.
Willie Mosconi, of course, a middle infielder for the old St. Louis Browns. Like to hit the ball that way, off the end of the bat a lot.
0-2 pitch. And back to the screen again. 3 solo homers for the Astros so far.
He's working awfully fast.
30 pitches for him already. And a pretty breaking ball takes care of Worth. And the Astros back-to-back homers to start the second. They're up 3-zip. Your fans, as you know, it's coming up a week from today. Get your tickets now to see the Braves and Nationals Monday, April 4th, and see the excitement of opening day with your Atlanta Braves. Get your tickets at Braves.com or call 800-745-3000. 3 solo homers for Houston so far. Let's see if the Braves can answer in the second. We'll start with Adonis Garcia. Got the Braves in order. 1, 2, 3 in the first. Strikeout, ground out, and flyouts. Nice even count.
Pfister was a late sign by the Astros. That would not have been the case if he had had any type of decent year last year and had avoided those forearm problems that he had. The Astros are taking a chance, and I think he's healthy, be a really good addition to their rotation.
It's good rotation with Dallas Keuchel at the top of their starting 5. Good start. Pfister lost to Garcia. Lead off base on balls. First runner of the game for the Braves. We'll bring up Nick Markakis.
Not good numbers so far for Nick. Average-wise, not what you're used to seeing. But he's not upset or bothered by it other than the fact that he knows it's there.
There's some guys, too, that just, for whatever reason, spring training is not their bag. But you ring the bell opening day, and they get
different guys.
Yeah, different guys. Perfect way to describe it.
I think most guys would tell you, especially veterans like Nick, would say, as long as I feel good the last 4 or 5 days going into the season, you know, you cut down on things you might have been experimenting with or working on, and you're getting into more of a routine, and you're getting more bats.
As a big league player, what is this final week like? Because in a case of a team like the Braves, where there is still so much yet to be decided, I'm sure it's an exciting time, but also a nervous time.
The veterans are ready for this to be over.
Yeah.
They're ready to start the season tomorrow.
Little dribbler toward third. Moran gloves. Throws on the run. And Markakis will be safe at first. Whitehead come off the bag, and Braves bring the tying run to the plate with nobody out.
Needless to say, the Braves have a lot of decisions to make this last week, so the team needs to look at more players, so that's an important last week. That was a nice play by White at first base. He's made their club. They told him he's on the team after a great spring that he's had, but with a 3-0 lead, rather than try to stretch and somehow maybe catch that short hop and risk it getting by him, he came off the bag and conceded the base to Markakis and made sure the ball didn't get by him. Nice play.
So Hector Olivera bats for the first time. He's knocked in 8 runs. Let's see what he can do with nobody out. Mister's a real tall man. 6'6", 6'8", 6'8".
Yeah, 6'8", 210. Fit in nicely in the Final Four.
Who's in the Final Four, Joe?
Boy, I don't know. Funny you brought that up.
Yeah.
Big 12's got a team in there, though. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Olivera just 1 walk this spring and 52 at bats. Also only 6 strikeouts.
Right back where it came from and into center field. Here comes Garcia around third. Rasmus will concede the run. And the Braves cash in back-to-back singles and are on the board. It's now a 3-1 game. Olivera with his 9th RBI.
And that ties him for the team lead with Freeman and Chase Peterson. Trying to keep that weight back and not spin open so much, and he drove that one right back through the middle. Nice job.
Here's A.J. Kaczynski, a really impressive year last year. 113 games, hit an even 300.
I asked him today, I said, do you work out in the offseason harder because you're older, or manage it in a different way than when you were younger? He said, I don't work out as much. I know what I need to do, and it's more about flexibility and some strength. He does yoga, he does Pilates.
I don't have the guide in front of me, and I don't remember. Has he ever been on the disabled list? The big league catcher? I don't think he has.
I want to say no.
That's hit hard the other way. Right, no balls, 2 strikes. Still 0-2. Leadoff walk to Adonis Garcia. Markakis with an infield hit. Olivera with a single to center. Now A.J. turns to him. The Braves a little closer.
There's a youth league team that just came into the ballpark. They're sitting down there. You see them now in the berm, and there was a mob of them that went after that.
down the right field line. Long run for Springer. He's not going to get there. Here comes Markakis around third. He's going to score. It's a 3-2 game. We saw a lot of at-bats like that from A.J. last year. Fight some stuff off. And just enough to dump it into right field.
That was a breaking ball from Fister and dropped it right in, down and into A.J.'s wheelhouse. Nice adjustment for Brzezinski.
Well, the Braves have answered Houston's 2 here in the second. Jace Peterson a chance to tie it or put Atlanta in front. Joe mentioned Jace's RBI prowess this spring. 9 RBIs. 256 batting average. Straight back.
Astros might have a little furrowed brow on Fister because his last 3 outings coming into this start, 3 innings 1 run, 3 innings 3 runs, 3 2/3 innings, 6 hits and 5 runs, and already 2 runs tonight.
Fister signed a 1-year deal. He's healthy. That's hit a mile toward left. Tucker going back. He'll have room. Tagging at third is Oliveira. He'll come home and score. A.J. tags up 2. He stands at third base. And Peterson ties it up with the sac fly.
Nice job by Jace. Good base running by A.J. Pitch up. That's part of the problem for Fister. He's got to have the ball down with that sinker, and Braves are teeing off on him.
Let's see if Fulte can help himself. Infield's in. And strike.
Noticeably thinner than he was last season. He too unable to put in a full off-season workouts due to his injury, to his surgery, I should say.
Two strikes. His offense has gotten him even. Fister's worked up a lather on a hot night. Full to the pitcher.
Start that swing early, Fulte.
He just walked in. Fultonevich walks. Second walk of the inning.
Fister didn't like that call. We were told that the umpire rotation is different than what we were originally given. That's actually veteran John Tompane behind the plate. Pitch looked low and away.
So we go back to the top of the order. Ender Inciarte, who struck out looking his first time up.
You were telling me the Diamondbacks all-star center fielder A.J. Pollock's got an injury now.
He's got some arm trouble. Yeah, that's bad news for Arizona, and that was the man the Braves tried to get for Shelby Miller. So if A.J. Pollock is down, they probably wish they still had Cincinnati. That's got to be the maddening thing about this game from a general manager's perspective. You spend all winter trying to put together your team, and as you said, final week, somebody gets hurt that totally wrecks your plans. Base delays them. It's a ball to second. Tough pick, only one play, and it's to first. Brzezinski scores. And Ciarte puts it in play, drives home the go-ahead run, and the Braves lead 4-3.
It's a pretty good play by Danny Wirth just to smother that hop. Good inning.
Started with the leadoff walk. Walk to Fultonovich, kept it alive for Inciarte. Now Ibar bats. He bounced out to third his first time up. 4 runs are in. And a strike.
Good inning in the sense that the Braves have done some good situational hitting.
Point of emphasis for Kevin Seitzer last year. The Braves did an excellent job of putting the ball in play. They didn't strike out nearly as much as they did 2 years ago. The philosophy carries over for the second.
That's why I have been reiterating the fact that from a position player standpoint, even with the guys that are still in contention for jobs, they're veteran players. There are no rookies. These guys have been through it. They know how to play the game. They know what's expected of them in different situations at the plate. So to that end, when these situations arise during the course of the season, I like their chances of scoring more runs because they can handle the bat better.
The Braves struck out fewest of any team in the National League. 1,107 times all year last year. 2 years ago, they struck out that many times, it seemed, in the first half.
No question.
Fister out to make his 36th pitch of the inning. And it's over the inside corner. Ibar not too sure, but he is the second strikeout victim of the game. Good inning for the Braves, though. They score 4 times and have taken a 1-run lead after 2.
I'm normally a guy that likes to put a lot of energy, and I like to smile when I'm on the field. So hopefully the fans are going to see a guy enjoying his time and putting the best he can to win ball games.
That's always appreciated. As you see, the 3 things for Ender Inciarte you want to know.
How about that last line? Led all National League outfielders in defensive runs saved last season. and he wasn't even typically an everyday player. So what he did when he was in the ballgame was very impressive. And as I have said before, I had someone from the Diamondbacks organization tell me that when he was in center field, when Pollock had a day off or what have you, that Inciarte was a better center fielder than the Gold Glover.
So Mike Fultonevich now has been given a 1-run lead. George Springer is their leadoff man tonight. He hit the first pitch of the game out of the ballpark to left. Let's see how Mike fares. In front by a run. Back to the fastball and threw it over the outside corner for a strike.
Astros need to keep this guy on the field too. He had some injury problems last year. But a great talent.
First round pick out of UConn back in 2011. George Springer. Up the middle. Nice pick at second. Long throw won't nearly be in time. Springer has terrific speed. That was a tough play at second for Jace. Infield hit.
One of the things about Mike that when you look at last year's numbers that really stand out, when he pitches behind in the count, and basically when a major league hitter is expecting a fastball, the numbers they skyrocket. OPS, batting average, slugging, and on base of 1.137. Even in the count, it comes down drastically, and when he's pitching ahead in the count, there's no comparison how much more effective he is. So with his stuff, he can't be concerned about throwing first pitch fastball strike, even though Springer hit one out of the ballpark today. You got to stay with that because if he's ahead in the count, he can be awfully dominant.
We saw a start or two for Mike last year where he really just threw his fastball. It was that overpowering, that dominant. I can't remember which game it was, but I remember you saying at the time, keep bringing it.
Yeah, and he's thrown 8 first pitch strikes tonight. First 10. It's a huge difference for any pitcher. It's especially an advantage for a guy who's a power pitcher.
Made his first start on St. Patrick's Day, went 2 innings. Faced the Astros on the 22nd, went 3 2/3 innings. He's beginning his 3rd inning here tonight. As Joe mentioned, Williams Perez is scheduled to pitch tonight. We haven't seen Williams all spring.
He hasn't pitched in a official spring training game in about 11 days, but he's been working in a minor league camp and on an off day. So got in some work.
Moran drives one toward Oliveira in left. Still going back at the warning track. That one's going to creep over the fence.
Goodness.
The Astros have hit 4 home runs in the first 2+ innings of this game. Moran goes the other way. And Houston jumps back in front.
Well, that's a pretty good pop the other way for this guy. Fastball, though, belt high. Mike knew it. Hector Oliveira playing in left field this year for the first time. Didn't have time to get back to the wall. He might have had a play on that if he had been there.
He would have hit that ball over the Crawford boxes, over the train tracks if they're still there, and up one of the rooftops outside Minute Maid Park. That one ate up Jace Peterson at second. Inciarte is going to have to chase that one onto the warning track, and Correa gallops into second base.
When you hit a ball that hard that one hops the second baseman and almost gets to the warning track before it's tracked down, that's smoked.
All sounds a little different off his bat too, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. He did get to the warning track. What a player.
Second youngest player to hit 2 homers in a playoff game. It was Carlos Correa last year. Andrew Jones was the youngest. Correa drafted out of high school in Puerto Rico. And when you think about all the miserable years that the Astros had in back-to-back fashion, this was a franchise that had never had a 100-loss season until they had 2-3 of them in a row. The payoff, these guys like Mark Apple and Carlos Correa. Last year, first place team for 139 days before just running out of gas toward the end of the year. Made the playoffs as a wild card. Very nearly knocked off the Royals.
Should have. They were 3 outs away.
Cued out toward Ibar at short. He's playing on the first base side of second base. Rasmus, though, advances Correa to third base, and that's the first out of the inning. And here's Gomez, the man that hit the second of the 3, make it 4 Houston homers tonight. Astros have a day off here in Central Florida tomorrow. They will play their final game in Clearwater on Wednesday. They'll face the Phillies. Then they'll go to Houston for their final 2 spring games. They'll play a couple of games against the Milwaukee Brewers at Minute Maid Park Thursday and Friday. And as I said, they open up the season on the road against the Yankees. And they will open up their home slate April 11th against Kansas City. Infield in for Gomez. 2 strikes, 1 out. Did he go? You bet he did. Gomez swings and misses, flips the bat away as he makes his way to the Houston dugout. Foltynewicz has his second strikeout.
Tied him up in there. Yeah, that bat did get extended a little bit. Foltynewicz scheduled to go 3 innings today, whether it was good or whether it wasn't. This would be his last inning of work.
Pop back our way. Strike 1. AAA in the big leagues, Tucker last year hit 24 home runs, drove in 68. Hit 295 at Fresno, 243 in 98 games at the big league level. AJ smothered that.
Nice stop. These numbers are going to be disappointing for Mike Foltynewicz in light of the way he pitched his first 2 times out. But as he said in that soundbite we had at the beginning of the game, he's thrilled to already be pitching, to be healthy, and he'll look forward to his next outing. And that's primarily why the Braves have been talking about trying to make sure they take their time with him in terms of getting ready.
Tricky spin, ate up Ibar, and that brings home Correa with the 3rd run of the inning. So the Astros have scored in every inning. It leads 6-4.
And the spin ate Eric up. cued right off the end of the bat. What was his name again? Willie Moscone?
We'll go Minnesota Fats.
Was he a switch hitter?
He was a switch hitter. Yes, he was. Here's Tyler White. White flied out to center.
And I don't think it's nice when you talk about Kent Hrbek that way.
Every other Braves fan does. Sharply hit toward third. Notice has that one goes the short way, and that will retire the side. Houston scores 3 more times in third, 6 runs, including 4 homers today. The Braves third in Orlando. He flied out center his first time up. Joe and Chip with you from Orlando. Astros hit 4 home runs in their first 3 times up. Braves came back with a 4 spot in the second against Doug Fister, who hasn't been exactly overwhelmingly good.
No, he hasn't. Both starters been knocked around a little bit here. Astros put on a big shift for Freddie. They shift a lot. I think you'll see the Braves shift more this year than we're accustomed to seeing them.
Freddie takes a little low. 2 balls and a strike. I love the idea of shifting, but obviously that's predicated on the pitcher making a good pitch.
Now they're going to put all 4 guys. With the count 3-1, they're putting all 4 guys over on the right side. That's something new.
Never seen that before.
Nope.
He's
trying to go the other way. Look at it.
So Fister's got the count full 3-2. And Freeman takes ball 4. So another leadoff walk. Back-to-back innings with one of those for the Braves. Last time in the second, it started a 4-run rally. Here's Adonis. said it last time we joined you, what a fine Garcia proved to be. 10 homers for the Braves in 58 games at the big league level. Played 87 games down in Gwinnett.
And he had an outstanding winter ball for Venezuela in the Caribbean World Series and playing for Eddie Perez. I believe that his team got to the finals, or at the very least the semifinals.
I believe they did, but
Mexico won the championship.
There's Eddie.
Future manager.
Down 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bullpen. Timmy Pendleton, first base coach. Bo Porter, third. Carlos Tosca on the bench. Kevin Seitzer, hitting coach. Roger McDowell, of course, the Braves pitching coach. All back. And that's banged through the whole left side. So Garcia has a hit. Braves right back at the Astros again.
Just watching Brian Snitker down, Kevin Seitzer down there, the hitting coach, who likes to sit outside the dugout to get a better view of his hitters, but he was blocked by the catcher and umpire trying to watch Adonis, so he got up and went over where you see him now, where he could get a better angle and watch his swing.
So 2 on, nobody out, and Markakis is up. Swings the first pitch, fouls that away for a strike. We talked a lot about what Markakis was limited by last year, coming back from the neck surgery. Really remarkable to me, Joe. He played 156 games with no offseason workout and almost hit 300 last year.
In the top 5 in the league in hits too, wasn't he?
That sky toward left. Tucker long run near the bullpen gate as Will makes the catch. And the runners hold with 1 out. And we'll bring up Oliveira. Braves have been working long and hard with Oliveira to help him unwrap the bat. Banged a single right back up the middle for an RBI hit. First and only time up tonight. In toward third. On at second. On at first. Nice scoop. And the Braves' third inning rally is erased on a 5-4-3 double play. We go to the 4th inning. 6-4 Houston. Has the lead. Time for today's in-game interview brought to you by Yellowwood. And there's the smiling face. There he's smiling. Mike Fultonevich on cue. Mike, great to see you back out on the mound. Take us through what you did tonight.
Yeah, let's start with the first pitch.
I'm surprised people don't do it more often, but you know, they're just an aggressive team, aggressive fastball hitting team, and you know, I just put one over the middle plate and it went out the park. But you know, I take the solo shots over the bases loaded or runners on anytime, so it's okay.
Anytime. And you know, I know you're disappointed giving up runs and all that, but overall, did you feel good while you were out there?
It did. That's the main thing right now, is just going out there and seeing how I feel in the day. I felt good, even though the result wasn't what I wanted, but that's just been the main goal ever since I got here to spring training, getting off the mound. It's just how the arm feel, and it felt good today. So you know, the off speed and curveball and slider wasn't there today, but fastball and all that was there, and the arm feels good. So it's you know, just take it day by day from now on.
Mike, we had a soundbite from you earlier in the game where you talked about how you're really grateful for this second chance in baseball that you have after your surgery last September, and I made the comment that it's really kind of a second chance at life for you because your injury was a lot more serious than everyone knew about at the time. Am I right about that?
Absolutely. Just a blood clot, and we were going to New York, I think, that week or something, and you know, all the doctors and all that said I could have had a stroke in the air or a heart attack or something in the air, and I could have just, you know, died or something. But you know, thank God we got all that situated, and you know, it really opened up my eyes to, you know, what I'm on this earth to do, and that's to play baseball. And you know, when all that stuff happened, it got me really scared, and then I'm going to go out here, I'm a new man, and just have confident as ever, and just go out there and pitch and play baseball as long as you can.
Mike, we showed a graphic from your numbers last year that had to do with the success hitters had against you depending on the count. And like any pitcher, when you're behind in the count, the numbers are going to be higher, but yours were significantly lower when you were ahead in the count, and I attribute it to the fact that you're a power pitcher. Is that something you're aware of and work on to try to get ahead early?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, I think that's anybody's goals out there is to get ahead early, and you know, it's like a power pitcher. I try to get a little crazy sometimes, and you know, throw a little harder than I should, and it just leaks over the middle of the plate. But that's just something I'm definitely working on. Those 2-strike hits or 2-out walks, 2 strikes, and I fall behind and walk a guy. So that's definitely something I'm definitely trying to work on. You know, it's a little bit difficult for me because I always want to go out there and just get up there and throw, So just slowing up the game has really helped me down a lot today. I didn't do it as much as I wanted to today, but you know, we'll get there.
Yeah, I made the comment. I thought you were working really fast tonight.
Yeah, it's just, you know, good energy out here today against your old team, and you know, I think I was just working a little too quick there the first 2 innings, but you know, I settled down a little bit there at third, and we got some more ground ball outs there at third, so it's you know, slowly progressing back into what I was last year.
Glad you brought up the fact that you're facing your old team. Braves fans know how difficult last year was. They know how difficult this year could be. You were part of this Astros ball club and this organization when they were losing 100 games a year, but you see the end product. As a young player, I'm sure it's exciting for you to be in Atlanta and could very well be part of a future that has the same kind of successful present that Houston's enjoying.
Absolutely. A lot of people actually talk to me about that. I mean, like you said, Houston turned around within 1 year, and you know, they're in the playoffs the next year, and you know, I definitely think that could happen here. You know, copying all the guys, bringing in all this talent, all the trade guys, and you know, you can see what's gonna happen here in the future, and I'm very excited. And I know all the other guys are really excited to be on board and be part of this team.
Well, keep up the good work. I know you've got perhaps another outing down here, right?
Yeah, I'll be going the last day of camp. I believe it's the 2nd. So
okay.
I'll be going out there and you know, try to rebound from this outing.
I can guarantee you your teammates will say throw lots of strikes.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's you know, it's funny you bring that up, but you know, that's my main goal every time I'm out there is to try to throw strikes, and yeah, but that's funny you brought that up.
Mike, it's always a pleasure to see you, man. We're thrilled you're back and pitching, and hope everything works out. We'll see you hopefully in the first couple of weeks of regular season play.
Yes, sir, guys. Thanks a lot for having me.
All right. Mike Fultonevich, tonight's starter for the Braves. And as Joe told you earlier, piggybacking on Mike's start tonight is Williams Perez, a man the Braves know very well, and a man that's also in contention for one of what appear to be, Joe, 2 remaining rotation spots.
And Williams did a good job for the Braves last year. Went 7-6. Got an ERA of 4.78 and was really on a roll when he got hit with that line drive in Pittsburgh that put him on the disabled list.
There's that man again, Springer. Inciarte back turned toward the infield at the fence. He can't get there. George Springer has hit his 2nd home run of the game.
They may have a new leadoff man.
Springer's 3 for 3 with 2 homers.
Ball coming back. Good effort by Inciarte, who just made a good catch on that line drive.
5 Houston homers. And they're up 7-4. Homered his last time up. It was an opposite field shot.
Williams has only given up 1 run in his previous 4 outings this spring. 7 innings total. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts prior to the homer.
Up the middle, and that'll roll into center field. So Moran with a 2-hit night. After 2 outs, Springer and Moran set it up for Carlos Correa. Mentioned Correa, the Rookie of the Year in the American League. You know who the last Astro to win the Rookie of the Year award was?
Cesar Cedeno.
Close. It's Jeff Bagwell.
No kidding.
As I said, from June 8th to the end of the year, this man hit 22 homers and knocked in 68 runs.
Well, part of losing 100 games for 3 or 4 years in a row is a high draft pick, and the Astros certainly made good on this pick.
And they traded another one in Mark Apple to get the closer, Ken Giles, who is expected to pitch in tonight's game.
This kid's big, and the same young physique of an Alex Rodriguez.
Short, you've got Jose Altuve as the second baseman. Altuve, by the way, at the old age of 25, is only 170 hits from 1,000. So I think they're up the middle tandem taken care of for a good long while. Not to mention 3 center fielders. Field alignment. They're good. They're going to be good. It should be quite a race with the Texas Rangers in the AL West. That's headed toward the right center field gap, and that'll get down.
Watch him run.
Moran's going to score, and look at Correa's streak around the bases. He'll slide in with a triple.
Remember, that's the same guy that hit the shot past Peterson that rolled to the warning track in right center, and this time he gets a pitch out away from him where he could extend his arms, and he drives it to right center. What a talent.
The sound of the ball off the bat sounds like someone taking 2 bricks and smacking them together.
Sure does. He might go from Rookie of the Year to the MVP. He's going from third base to the bench right now.
He's done enough damage for this night. I'll tell you who the Houston pinch runner is in a moment. First the pitch from Williams Perez. He's given up a homer, a single, and a triple after 2 are out. Tony Kemp is the Houston runner at third base. And now that one's cracked toward the scoreboard in right center field. Inciarte is going to watch that one bounce over the fence. That'll be a 2-base hit. Inciarte is going to need an IV in a minute. He's been running from pillar to post in this frame. 3 more across for the Astros in the 4th.
Even the first 2 outs of the inning were hard hit. Line drive to first, line drive to center. And Williams has got to get the ball down. Bounces up and hits off the scoreboard above the fence.
And Jake Marisnick will pinch run for him. Houston scored in every inning. 9 runs on 10 hits. Here's Gomez, who's homered and struck out. Tie. Gomez took it.
The difference between these 2 outings so far for Mike Foltynewicz is that the Braves are talking about him being ready, not being ready until at the earliest April 12th, and probably later than that. So he's still got work to do. For Williams Perez, knowing what he knows about the question marks at the back end of the rotation right now, this is an ultra important outing for him, and it's not started well at all.
Yeah, he had a run of 6 straight scoreless innings coming into this outing, although he hasn't pitched in a big league game since St. Patrick's Day. And that's a term you've used an awful lot in our 4 games together. This same word applies, opportunity.
Trying to take advantage of every opportunity you get. There's so many openings, especially in the staff.
Another shot toward the gap in right center field. This time Marquez is going to get there, and that will retire the side. 3 runs across after 2 are out in the Houston 4th. They lead it by 5. A.J. did his first time up.
Hooked one down in the corner after falling behind in the count. Fought off some pitches. That double a part of a 4-run second for the Braves. And hits as a catcher. He's closing in on 2,000. Chance to pass a couple of guys this year.
Couple of changes for the Astros on defense. Kemp will stay in the game to play second base. Jake Marisnick is in center field for Colby Rasmus. And Teoscar Hernandez is the right fielder. Earlier tonight if AJ has been on the disabled list in his career. He has a couple of times with the White Sox, with the Rangers, but not an awful lot. And for the position he plays, that's really a remarkable statistic. Think about it, Jay's been
age 39, still catching. Blessed with good knees. He might laugh at that.
Look at that. And he's smart. Can he outrun Fister? Yeah, because Doug dropped the baseball. So the man who does yoga might pass Yogi on the hit parade later this summer as a bunt single.
Very good. Hey, especially leading off an inning, and they're going to overshift like that. And he did exactly what he should do, move up in the box and not try to be too fine with it. Just get it down.
Are you surprised more players don't do what A.J. Brzezinski just did?
A little bit, I am. Depending on the situation. You know, if it's late in the game and got a home run hitter up there and you got a chance to tie the game, it's different.
That's one sure way to make them think twice about shifting if you can lay down a successful bunt or two.
Brian McCann would do that on occasion and successfully.
Peterson bats with a man aboard, and it's a mile high left. Tucker is under it. And there's your first out. Peterson has a sac fly and an RBI already tonight. And Williams Perez will get his first at bat. Mike Foltynewicz started tonight. Gave up 6 hits, 4 homers. Struck out a couple of men. One ball, no strikes. Randy Worth, by the way, has moved over to shortstop. His career is out of the game. So Brand, Worth, Kemp, and White around the horn for Houston. And these are the kind of situational opportunities for the starting pitchers to work on. Live pitching, man at first, get the bunt down.
And the type of pitcher you'd love to see out there if you need to get a bunt down, and it's a sinker baller. If he'll cooperate. Perfect bunt there.
Fouled that one at the plate and is struck out. Fister has 3 strikeouts in the game. And Ender Inciarte with AJ at first and 2 outs. Hits again. He's 0 for 2 with an RBI. Astros fans remember that smiling face. Evan Gattis. His 11 triples last year.
Yeah, how about that? I understand he got married over the offseason, too.
One ball, no strikes. Can't think of a guy more perfectly suited for his home park than Evan Gattis and Minute Maid Park with the Crawford boxes in left field.
Absolutely. And not to mention, if he's going to get traded, he probably was thrilled to go to Texas, his home state, too.
John Hart's mentioned, he said, I love the player. It's a tough trade to make, but with Evan's skill set, he's an American League player. That's a deal that certainly helped the Astros ball club last year. He was a big missing piece for them. A little of a lineup slugger. Evan did not disappoint.
Six homers, I think.
Yeah, check. So 88 RBIs, scored 66 runs, hit 246. But the one that just shakes your head is the 11 triples. Foul. Catch up with Evan before the game tonight. He's getting treatment again. He's probably going to start the year on the disabled list. Talk is that when they get home for their home opener April 11th, he will probably debut at some point on that first homestand for the Astros. Joe Krasinski was halfway to second base.
Now he can go.
Second. Kemp's got it. Throw to first is in time. We are headed to the top of another fifth. 9-4. Houston has your lead.
Your projects have
The Astros offense is in midseason form today. They've hit 5 home runs and lead the Braves 9-4 after 4 here at Champion Stadium. This will be Joe's and my Final spring training telecast. We'll get ready for opening day on April the 4th when the Nationals come to town. 4 o'clock first pitch at Turner Field. Hope you'll join us for that with a special 2-hour Braves Live as well here on Fox.
And it was announced today that Julio Teheran is in fact the opening day starter. He'll be opposed by Max Scherzer. Looks like it's going to be Teheran, then Norris, Bud Norris, and then Matt Whistler in Game 3.
Braves have a crazy schedule to start the year too. Play Monday, off Tuesday, play Wednesday, and then the Cardinals come in. That's another thing we haven't touched on at all. Is I'm sure you've read Buster Olney's blog about the strength of schedules or weakness of schedule. He said the Braves have the toughest schedule to start the year of any team in the National League.
He's right.
The Braves play 19 of their first 41 games at home. 28 of their first 41 games are against winning teams. And by the middle of May, the Braves will have played the Cardinals, the Nationals a bunch, the Mets, the Royals, the Dodgers, the Cubs, and the Pirates.
All playoff teams.
1 ball, 2 strikes for Tucker. He's top of baseball and fouls that away. You got to play him sometime.
Well, it's not the NFL, you know, where they look at your schedule and then they kind of make a schedule up for you according to how good or bad you were last year. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you in Major League Baseball. We got to play them.
That's high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's reached on an error tonight. Skies that one toward the berm and left. And a fan from Lehigh Junction made the play. That is an actual place.
Yes, it is.
Full count.
Yeah, the Astros are not swinging and missing much tonight. That was a 3-2 off-speed pitch, and he still got good wood on it.
Last year, their offense second in the American League in homers, total bases, slugging percentage, and OPS. Up. Freddie Freeman with gray skies overhead. And says he's got it. 2016 will show some rules changes in Major League Baseball. Most notably, the slide rule. Much controversy with Chase Utley in the playoffs last year against the Mets. And so the in the neighborhood play and the barrel roll, that's out.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't see how it's that much different from what last year's rule was about the same thing about taking guys out. That barrel roll is rolling block has been kind of under scrutiny for a long time. But I mean, think about it. I know the one real change is that you have to be on the ground before your foot gets to the base. So unlike Chase Utley in that slide, who was already beyond the base when he made contact with Tejada of the Mets, that has been outlawed. You've got to be on the ground before you get there.
I think the third point's worth mentioning too. Is able and attempts to remain on the base at the completion of the slide.
That is really subject to interpretation. You know, if I'm sliding and I keep going, we've seen so many guys slide right over the top of the bag and go by it. There's going to be a lot of guys that are going to question that rule.
2 balls, 2 strikes. It's popped out towards second. James Peterson works back, makes the play. White's retired and is 0 for 3. So Perez gets the first 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Let's see if he can take care of Castro and the Astros in order. The Braves don't yet have a defensive 1-2-3 inning tonight. Well, it's certainly a different game. There were some clips going around Facebook and YouTube earlier this week showing the A's and the Reds in the World Series, where Hal McRae went into second base and almost took the second baseman to the outfield fence. And he got up, shook his hand, and went the other way. That's how the game was played 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was Dick Green. The A's got knocked into left field.
I mean, just wiped out.
Hal McRae was one of the best. He and Don Baylor, 2 of the best.
Strike 1 to Jason Castro. The Braves have another shift on for him. He's 0 for 2. He tries to punt.
And AJ will probably say, if you need some work on that, I can help you.
Exactly what he's saying. Castro with a wry smile back there. 0-2. Right down Broadway, and that'll retire the side. 3 up, 3 down. Perez has a perfect top of the 5th.
The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves.
Fans, the Kroger 4-game plan is a great way to see your Braves during this historic final season at Turner Field. Save off the regular season game price and see the games you want with no restrictions. Custom build your 4-game plan or select a popular plan like the bobblehead, fireworks, or Sunday Kids Day today by visiting Braves.com/4game. Out of the 5th inning, Ibar, Freeman, and Garcia coming up. Doug Fister back out for a 5th inning for the Stros. Going in for a called strike.
see, though, how when Fister's keeping the ball down, how his ball sinks. That last pitch was a changeup that really was diving. He's down in the zone. He's tough.
Letter high, 3 balls and a strike. And he just walked Ibar to lead off the inning. That's 4 walks for Fister tonight. Freddie Freeman's the hitter. Freeman also has walked. He's flied out to center. .84 pitches for Fister, 36 balls. That one well struck toward left. First goes Ivar. Tucker tracked it down, 1 out. That's trouble in his home ballpark.
Yes, it is. Freddie Freeman, once he comes out of the game tonight, is going to join us and talk to us a little bit about his spring.
There's Garcia, the batter. He's walked and singled. Strikes. One of the many things I love about Freddie Freeman is how, with all the roster changes that have taken place for the ball club over the last couple of years, Freeman's kind of the last man standing, if you will. He's not shied away from being the guy that the reporters go to after the ball game, win or loss. He's always generous with his time, with us, with the other members of the media. But he's also very optimistic and approaching this season with eyes wide open. He knows what the organizational plan is, and it seems like from Freddie's comments to us and everyone else, he's completely and totally on board with it. He's excited by this opportunity that the organization has presented.
Yeah, and I don't know, and I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but I don't know that he was all on board at the beginning because all of his buddies were getting traded away, and he was wondering what's going on. But he does know now, and he very much appreciates what the team is doing.
That's slicing down the right field line by Garcia. There's the second out of the inning. That's Teoscar Hernandez out there. Fister has his second out as he's coaching 100 pitches. And that's a question I think we'll ask Freddie when he joins us at some point tonight. And Markakis will dig in. He's 1 for 2. We're in the 5th. 9-4 Astros. George Springer hit the first pitch of the game out of the ballpark, and they haven't stopped hitting since. The Astros have 10 hits. The Braves have 5. 1 ball, no strikes. Hit towards center field. That'll get down for a base hit. Ibar on his way to third. Bo Porter will stop him there. It's a long single for Markakis. And Braves have him first and third for Hector Olivera.
It's that Fister left up a little bit above the belt. Nick made him pay. Good swing. Or not, Chip, but Nick was clean shaven yesterday. Man, I got to grow a beard.
Here's Olivera. singled home a run, and he's hitting to a double play. 1 for 2. Looking forward to seeing Nick's folks after the ball games. We always run to his dad after the game to get the.
We just had a tunnel.
Yeah. Yeah.
See him in the tunnel.
Yeah. So he's watching tonight. And that ball is hit high in the air toward left. Tucker on the run. Still going to the running track. He can't get there. It's off the base of the wall. Here comes Markakis around third. He is going to score standing up. Oliveira doubles home a pair with 2 outs, and the Braves are down 9-6.
Talk about the bat wrap and what it does to, well, how long it makes his swing. Well, it's the barrel of bat right there. How it is, even before that, pointed at the pitcher. So it's got a long arc right there. It's got a long arc, Julio Franco-like. And the timing has to be perfect from there. He has that hip turn to load up, and anything off speed makes it tough for him to cover and stay back. But I mean to tell you, when he makes contact, he puts a charge in it. He's a big, strong guy.
Big game for Oliveira. He's knocked in 3 runs tonight. And that's going to be the end of the line for Doug Fister. As that pitch down and in, and Oliveira didn't miss it.
Just missed hitting it out of here. Again, the bat wrap, the hip turn. And the one thing Kevin Seitzer's working so hard on is just to try to shorten all that up. Not as much hip turn and not as much bat wrap, so that he can handle some of the gas that gets thrown, especially in the National League East. There you go. Computers for the hitting coach right there. Pull up his scouting report, go over to AJ and tell him exactly what to expect.
Game's changed in that regard too, hasn't it? So 9-6 is your score, and Braves fans become an A-list member today and get multiple ticket options and exclusive benefits customized to meet your unique needs. Call now to secure the best seats for the final season at Turner Field and the inaugural season at SunTrust Park. Don't miss out on being an A-list member today. Go to Braves.com/A-list or call 404-577-9100. A.J. Przinsky will face left-hander Tony Sipp.
Which would lead you to believe that he's had more than a cup of coffee. He has.
Nice.
He had a great year last year for the Astros.
A 1.99 ERA in 60 games, 62 strikeouts and 54 in the 3rd innings. AJ's got a 2-for-2 game working. Fires it in there for a called strike. Two runs, 2 hits, and a walk for the Braves in the 5th. AJ check swing roller toward third. That will retire the side. Sipp does his job. Oliveira left stranded at second after a 2-run scoring double, and we're off to the 6th.
turbine blower, the fastest way to clean up your yard. It's work season.
Chip and Joe with you in Orlando. A couple of changes for the Braves. Gordon Beckham has checked into the game. He's at third base. Gordon had a home run yesterday for Atlanta against the Nationals. And we'll get our first look at Carlos Martinez as well behind the plate. Take that back. A.J. Brzezinski's still in the game. Martinez was warming up.
Yeah, Martinez was out warming up the pitcher, though. Thought he was in the game for a second.
So my mistake. It's Beckham the only change as Perez goes to work against Danny Worth. Williams got him 1-2-3 last time around. Let's see if he can turn the trick again. 9-6 in the sixth. Sharply hitting into left field. Sixth inning starts. And here's Teoscar Hernandez.
What a night for George Springer.
Yeah, a couple of homers, an infield hit, and 3 runs. Strikes for Hernandez.
One of the things that plagued Williams at times last year were walks, and he fell behind Worth 2-0. He didn't want to put him on base and made a good pitch 2-0, and Worth didn't miss it.
Teoscar Hernandez is out of the Dominican Republic. The Astros signed him for the whopping sum of $20,000. A couple of years ago, 11 outfield assists, stole 33 bases. Hits that one hard out to second. Nice feed. Across the bag, not in time. And there's the speed of Hernandez to keep out of the double play.
He had to get down the line quickly because that ball was hard hit. Ibar was playing him a little over to pull and had to make a throw off balance, but he still was flying down the line.
There's some in the Houston camp who have compared this young man to the man he replaced in the outfield, George Springer. Power, speed. But can he make consistent enough contact? Time will tell on that. Here's Colin Moran. I made the point the last time we saw the Astros. I think it'll be a fascinating case study to see how this Braves remodeling, as you called it, turns out. The Astros went through a prolonged period of really bad baseball. Braves don't expect their miseries to last nearly as long as Houston's did. Obviously, they're hoping for the same kind of payoff that the Houston club's enjoying now. Point being, it may be difficult at times up at the big league level, but in minor leagues, if you build up develop that system, you draft them, you develop them, you get them here, you've got a chance to turn things around very, very quickly. That's exactly what Houston did. Went from 50 some odd wins to 86, 87 wins in the span of 2 years. Made the playoffs again last year.
Making the most of those draft choices is so important too, though, and picking the right people. Same thing will be said about the Braves this year, as they have the 3rd pick in the draft. And as per usual, with respect to the Braves and how they select their personnel, talking to John Capalella, it's as much about makeup as it is about ability. Need both.
1 ball, 1 strike. It's just back. That's low. 2 balls and a strike.
Moran, very impressive tonight with his opposite field homer. He's been in Double-A for a couple of years and has hit over 300 each of those 2 seasons. 9 homers last year at Corpus Christi for the Hooks. Looks like a good player.
And a strike. Getting closer. Pitch, ball 4 outside. Ball strike. Ford has 3-1. That pitch just missed. That should be ball 4.
Moran was headed to first. Maybe they called it a strike.
Well, if the count was messed up.
Yeah, he called it a strike.
He did. Very late call. Beg your pardon. So it's a stolen base.
It's funny, after all those pickoff attempts, it looked like Hernandez changed his stance a little bit. On the pitch he decided to run on, he dropped his right foot back just a little bit to open his stance up a little bit and allowed for a quicker crossover step.
Little pop. High bar drifts out. Inciarte coming in. Calls him off. And makes the play. 2 outs. And here's Tony Kemp. Kemp came on as a pinch runner back in the 4th inning. .56 pitches for Williams Perez. 2 2/3 innings. A lot of that trouble came in his first frame back in the 4th inning. Got the first 2 outs quickly, but then Springer, Moran, Correa, and Rasmus. Those 4 men hit for the cycle in order in that inning. strike one. To left. Oliveira drifts back. Look at that ball carrying the fence.
Little wind now.
Kemp gave it a ride, but he and the Astros retired. And these are the kinds of matchups that, should Jeff make the team, Freddie Gonzalez hopes to use. And Jeff's had a good camp.
He has. You know, there's basically now with Swisher gone, there's 3 guys vying for what people say are 2 spots in the outfield between Bourne, Bonifacio, and Francoeur. Here's some of the numbers on those 3 gentlemen. Nobody having a bad camp. But Jeff's numbers very good. And I believe he has some kind of clause in his contract that might be as early as tomorrow, where the Braves have got to let him know yay or nay, so that if they don't keep him, he's got a chance to hook on somebody else.
It's fouled away and out of play. You hear about that a lot with veteran players in the big leagues now. Guys that are invited as minor league players. Hey, if I'm not going to make your team, let's agree upon a date where I can go find another job someplace else. No balls, 2 strikes. Now 1-2. Braves have played Francoeur in all 3 outfield positions this spring. He could play center in an emergency, I guess. Chase that ball in the dirt, and Francoeur is down on strikes, and that's how the home 6th starts.
Good breaking ball from Sip. Well, the reason they want to see him in center field is that if they want to give Inciarte a day off in center field, well, Bourne's a lefty too.
Right.
So if you're thinking, okay, Inciarte's going to face a tough lefty, let's give him a day off. Well, then Bourne's got the same problem. So put a right-hander in there, and that option would be Francoeur right now.
And Jeff, as a right-hand batter, gives this team a little more balance because it is a left-hand heavy ball club. AJ, Inciarte, Markakis, Freeman, If you give any of those guys days off, you mentioned Bourne in the outfield. Jeff's a right-handed guy that could Kelly Johnson. So we'll see what awaits Jeff perhaps as early as tomorrow. 9-6 Houston. Braves batting in the 6th. Himself, of course. Get ready for a 4th inning. And Emilio Bonifacio's on deck. He'll bat for Inciarte next. Perez is running full. And he rips a single to left. That'll make Roberto Pena, the catcher, mad. Put down the wrong sign there, obviously, and Perez made him pay. So single and Bonifacio will be the batter.
Tried to just lay one in there, and Williams crossed him up by actually making contact.
So here's Bonifacio. We showed you the graphic a moment ago. He too having a good camp.
He's a switch hitter.
Foul to third. Bonifacio went 1 for 4 yesterday. Here the Braves lost 7-2 to the Nationals.
Emilio used to play in the infield too, especially at second base, but since he left Atlanta, he's no longer playing in the infield. Good slow hook he threw Francoeur, so he's got a couple of different pitches, the changeup and the curveball to right-handed hitters. .69 miles an hour for that one.
Will be facing the Orioles tomorrow. Matt Whistler and Miguel Gonzalez. And Wednesday afternoon, the Yankees come over to Disney. Julio Teheran and Ivan Nova. They have to go back to play the Orioles on the road again. Broken back, popped to short. How does that happen?
That's one of the things that that comes up when the Braves talk about a new spring training site is that especially when the Astros leave Kissimmee, the nearest team is going to be the Tigers in Lakeland. But to have to go to Sarasota twice in 3 days, man, those are road trips. And the Braves would like to get either on the east or west coast, closer to teams where they don't have to travel as much.
So Tony Sipp is going to be taken down. He pitched a scoreless inning of relief. Former Georgia Bulldog Josh Fields is on for the Stros. We'll tell you about his numbers in a minute.
Is sponsored by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. And the Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine.
The pride of Cole, Georgia, and the University of Georgia. Josh Fields checks in for the Astros. You might remember when Josh was a collegiate junior, the Braves drafted him in the second round of the amateur draft. He just had to go back to school and was later a top draft pick of the Seattle Mariners.
Well, he's got a good arm. Had a good year last year with Houston. They used him a lot.
Come on, Eric.
54 games, 4-1, a 3.5 ERA.
After his time in Seattle, he was traded to the Red Sox. And then the Astros took him in the Rule 5 draft. And here he is. That's like 2 and a ball and 2 strikes for Eric Ibar. Eric has walked and scored a run tonight. Braves led briefly 4-3 after 2. Houston's played long ball tonight. They've hit 5 homers. Chipper Jones is on the Braves dugout bench. He's going to join us in the next half inning. Always good to check in with Chipper. So stay tuned for that. All the other way. Still 2-2. Throwing hard. That was a 93.
Starts with a real close stance, hides the ball well.
Look out.
Then we've got screens in front of the dugouts on that one.
Hanging tough against Fields. Angels. Full count. Tough man to strike out. Only 73 of them and nearly 600 at bats last year. The reason why you like him hitting second, he's a switch hitter. Goes Porter skips the rope in the third base coaching box.
It's a machine for Porter.
Pitch number 10. This at bat is coming up. Pitch number 11 is coming up.
Well, this will just save Williams a couple of wind sprints.
Yeah.
He has to go do his running. We already have a couple out of the way. Deep breath from Perez. He's going to call timeout and ask for a trainer to come out.
Put it in play. I don't know how you say that in Spanish, but I guarantee you that's what he's thinking. He did put it in play, but again, it's foul. This time, Perez all the way around second base. Be a 13-pitch at bat.
Here's a little bit of a smile. Came to camp in good shape. He's getting in better shape tonight.
He's going to petition the Astros just out of mercy to let him have second base.
Yeah. Tell you what he should do. I think that's Jerry Lane umpiring at second. Is just go over and say, hey, I'm just going to stay here at second, but I promise not to score if he gets a base hit. I'm just going to stay here.
This is put in play. Keep it fair. But terrific at bat by Ibar.
Might be going for a world record here, folks.
Pitch number 17 coming up.
Give Fields a lot of credit. He's throwing a lot of strikes.
strike 3 ends the inning. The happiest man in the ballpark is Williams Perez. He'll call for the stretcher, a Gatorade IV, and he'll get the ball in the 7th inning.
More bling in this chin hair, isn't there?
I'm telling you. Happens fast, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Well, tell us how this special assistant thing is working out. How are you enjoying that?
It's a pretty good gig, man. It's I've done a lot of stuff that haven't done in a while. I saw my first high school baseball game in about 25 years the other day, going down and looking at a possible pick, and just being able to come and hang out with the guys around the cages and talk hitting with them, not just the mechanics and the fundamentals of it, but the mental part of it as well. And then getting to see the next generation down in the bushes, down in the minor leagues. It's been fun to get to know some of these kids as well.
How does that crossover work between you and Kevin Seitzer, the overlap? How do you guys work that out?
It's been great. I mean, we're just have been on the same page ever since I got here, and I got a little chance to hang around him a little bit last year, but I know my place, and I'm not going to step on anybody's toes whenever I say something to a hitter. I want to make sure that I'm not crossing him up in something that he's saying. So we talk on a daily basis about all our hitters.
Is that hard? You were such a great hitter in your day, Chipper. Ted Williams was one of the greatest hitters in the history of the game, but it really had trouble communicating what he was able to do to players who didn't have his Hall of Fame pedigree. Has that been an easy thing for you to try to get past, or has that been something that's been natural to you?
Thank goodness it's been real natural. I'm the son of a baseball coach who was also a school teacher, so being able to get my point across, in terms that these guys can understand and break it down to checkers for them and not chess, it's worked so far. Kevin Seitzer was a pretty dang good hitter himself, and he's a very good communicator. So I think being able to learn some stuff from him and vice versa, throughout my couple of weeks here has been really fun.
Victor Oliveira was described as one of the Braves' projects this spring. And Jake Blaznick with a base hit there. I know that there are some things that Kevin told me, that the big hip turn, the bat wrap, all of those things together, trying to help him shorten up. Has he been a guy that's been receptive to both of you on things like that?
Oh yes, I think the bat rap is going to get him in trouble. Obviously, when he goes up against 95 to 100, it's a long way for the bat to travel, and but he's been doing it his whole life, and he's not a spring chicken. He's been around a little while, and it's kind of hard to wean him off of that. But I mean, who can argue with the results this spring? I've sat there and watched him look bad on one swing and lace the bullet, his very next swing. So he looks to be making adjustments, and hopefully all the good work that he's done down here at the plate will transfer once we done that.
This is Carlos Gomez. We're talking with Hall of Famer Chipper Jones. Line going to second. Play, and that's happy news for Williams Perez. Chipper, you mentioned the kids down on the farm. Joe and I haven't had a chance to see the Dansby Swansons, the Ozzie Albises of the world. Tell us what you saw of them and what our fans can expect of them going forward.
Good, solid players. I mean, Dansby Swanson, I think, is probably a little, a bit more polished at the shortstop position right now. He's obviously a little older than Ozzie Albies. Ozzie's a little guy that can hit from both sides of the plate, got some speed. I think you're talking about, I don't know, how they're going to work it. When they get to the big league, who's going to play short, who's going to play second, but you're looking at your double play tandem for a long time, provided they stay healthy. And, guys like Austin Riley, who's got big power, going to be a third baseman. Hopefully he's already got an idea of what he's doing at the plate. A young fella named Acuna, who I'm hearing comparisons to Andrew Jones, so that's pretty good in the limited time that I've seen him. He's done some special things and opened everybody's eyes. So we're talking about two guys up the middle of the infield and one guy, up the middle in the outfield, and hopefully they'll contribute here pretty soon.
Chipper, always great to see you, pal.
Okay,
thanks.
Enjoyed it.
See you soon. Yep. Chipper Jones, Williams Perez, a nice 7th. Fourth, experience the excitement of opening day with your Atlanta Braves. Get your tickets at Braves.com/tickets or call 800-745-3000. Our thanks to Chipper Jones for joining us. As the Braves come up in the 7th inning, they'll take a look at a man that was in camp with them a lot of last spring. That's Wandy Rodriguez. Remember him?
Indeed. Looking for a spot as long reliever. Spot starter for the Astros. Started his career with them.
And he'll face Freddie Freeman first. Top of the screen for a swinging strike. Six Astros lead it. We're late at this. 4-run second. Sent 8 men to the plate. RBI hits by Oliveira, Brzezinski, Jace Peterson with a sacrifice fly. Oliveira also doubled home 2 runs in the 5th. So Hector tonight has knocked in 3 men. He's up to 11 RBIs for the spring. Freeman 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Low, and it was full count. And Freddie coaxes a leadoff walk. There's the start. Gordon Beckham's going to come up.
Mentioned Gordon's home run yesterday in the first inning against the Nationals off of Gio Gonzalez.
Let's see a matchup between those two in game 2.
Yeah.
Lined into left field. That'll get down for Beckham, a base hit. First and second, nobody out.
Nice piece of hitting there because of the way Wandy Rodriguez throws. He doesn't throw hard anymore. You know, he's going to try to keep the ball down, sink it away from right-handers. You see the catcher's target moving out, and Gordon went right down on top of that. Went right out there and got it. Line drive. Good swing.
Last year, Wandy Rodriguez was picked up by the Braves on a minor league contract after the Phillies had signed him and released him. Some medical issues from the Phillies' perspective. Braves picked him up. And he was fighting with Eric Stoltz for a roster spot, if you'll recall. Stoltz eventually made the club out of the spring, and Wandy Rodriguez was let go and ended up signing with the Texas Rangers. His bats in. Takes it low. Wandy Rodriguez for his career, 97 wins, 98 losses, a 4.10 lifetime ERA. 37 years old now. And a strike. Let's see if Nick can get him loaded and Oliveira can pop one. Astros hit 5 homers tonight. Braves are due to hit one themselves.
He's only given up 3 runs in 12 2/3 innings. Had a 4 strikeout outing in 2 innings against the Cardinals. Had a 5 strikeout inning in 4 innings of work at Philadelphia.
First tricky hop. Throw to second for 1. Throw to first is not in time. Post play. Marquez beat the wrap. 1 out. Runners at the corners for Oliveira.
Rodriguez looked back like he thought he got the out, but not so. Finished the night for Nick. And that's Katie Kang, who will pinch run for him.
Swing, fouled it back. Strike 1. You heard Chipper say, you heard Joe talk earlier tonight about the bat wrap and how much difficulty a hard thrower would give Oliveira if that wrap is present. I would assume that's not the case for a guy like Wandy Rodriguez as far as the velocity is concerned.
1 One wouldn't think so.
Right on that pitch, followed straight back. That's quickly 0-2.
But Chipper makes a good point. This guy's no kid. It was a 21-year-old phenom that you were trying to fix. There were some things you would kind of insist on or say, you know, you got to fix this or you're not going to be able to move up the chain here. Looks like Oliveira got him with the follow through on the swing at Pena.
No balls, 2 strikes. First and third for Oliveira, who's knocked in 3. And he's going to knock in a 4th with a base hit to left. Hang around second, on his way to third. He'll be stopped. Oliveira hooks a double into the left field corner, and the Braves are down 2.
Especially on this off-speed stuff. He's been able to make adjustments. And he's got great plate coverage, to say the least. No stride, just rolled up on the toe of his left foot and then threw that barrel out there and covered it. That's twice tonight he's done that.
So the Braves have the tying runners in scoring position, and A.J. Pierzynski's up there. A.J.'s 2 for 3. And a strike.
In the field there.
Ball fouled at first. It's 0-2. Braves now in double digits in hits. They've got 10.
A.J. Hinch, the manager of the Astros, has seen a few runs scored the last 2 days, hasn't he?
Yeah. His team gave up 21 of them yesterday in Mexico City. Nice stop. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Never been to Mexico City. Understand it's a great baseball hotbed. However, it's even higher altitude than Denver. Might have factored into that 27 total runs scored yesterday. Their baseball team names. The Red Devils, the Serape Makers, the Sultans. Good ones.
Winter ball, they had the Tomato Pickers.
Not so good.
The Orange Pickers.
2 balls, 2 strikes. A.J. far off. We have games played internationally all the time with the Blue Jays in Toronto, but baseball certainly is expanding its horizons to Cuba this year, to Mexico this year. Fought off and dribbled toward third.
That was kind of a late decision there on A.J.'s part, but he's still alive. Francoeur's giving him a lot of grief in the on-deck circle. Thing of beauty. See another pitch.
Broken back. Barrel ends out toward first. That's going to be an RBI for Pierzynski as Kang scores. Oliveira to third. 9-8 game with 2 outs. And again, Francoeur a chance against a lefty. A.J. Pierzynski with a 2 RBI night.
And that foul ball gave him an opportunity to get another run in. Olympics are coming up. He's practicing his baton handoff down there at first base with Terry Pendleton.
Francoeur chased a ball in the dirt and struck out in his first at bat. That was in the 6th inning. Jeff had an excellent year for the Phillies last year. A lot of pinch hits. Was it 11 pinch hits for Frenchie last year?
I think that's 11 or 13. Can't remember.
And a base hit to left is going to tie the game. Oliveira scores. Francoeur on his way to second with an RBI double, and the Braves have come all the way back. It's 9-9.
Fastball that he swung and missed on, and then tried to throw a cutter in on his hands, and Francoeur was ready for that.
So let's see if Ryan Varnway can bring home Jeff. Outside. Ball 2 for Varnway.
Hernandez pretty shallow in right field. We know how Ryan likes to hit the ball right center. Hit one over his head.
And a strike. And that's downstairs. He hasn't had many at bats with the big league club since the 20th of March. This is only his 4th in 8 days. Time obviously divvied up by A.J. Brzezinski and Tyler Flowers. Oh, and he had a good cut. Full count.
Rodriguez can't pitch upstairs anymore. His fastball's not good enough. They got away with one there.
Come on, Ryan, you got the eye.
Long inning for Rodriguez. The trouble started with the leadoff walk to Freeman. Did take a shot toward right. Is there, and that will retire the side. But the Braves have scored 3 times in the 7th. Jeff Francoeur with a go-ahead double, and Atlanta ties it up 9-9. spring training for the broadcasters too. 9-9 is our score. As we head to the 8th inning, Freddie Freeman has already had a terrific spring. Check this out. Expecting a baby, and that's how Freddie found out.
You got jammed.
You did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. But congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
What an exciting time, huh?
Yeah.
Whose idea was that?
My wife's. That was. Come on.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
That was a great way to let everybody in the family know, though, right?
Definitely, yeah. I FaceTimed my dad and my stepmom and my brother was in, so it was nice for them to see it firsthand as well.
Jose Ramirez is the pitcher as he faces Tyler White. Freddie Freeman's downstairs. Well, here we are, pal. A week from now, the games mean something. They're real.
I know, about time.
I'm sure you're ready. What's the state of the ball club from your perspective?
We look pretty good. We're scoring a lot of runs. You know, it's we're getting Fulte back, I think, quicker than we expected. You know, it's obviously it was a little rough, but it's just getting him, get some innings, get some pitch count up. So he looks good. Williams came in. You know, he was a little tired after that Eric Ibar at bat, but he looked good today too. And I think our lineup is very balanced this year. It's it's nice to have a 1 and 2 in front of me. You know, it's we've been kind of just putting guys in there hoping for the best last couple of years. You know, so definitely Endurance right there. He was a treat to have. He's incredible in the center field and getting on base as well. So Eric Ibar is a proven veteran who is professional in every aspect, and they're going to create some havoc on the bases this year.
Funny how those 3-4 hitters, Joe, talk about the guys hitting first and second. It's amazing how often that comes up, huh?
Yeah, that's why they're looking for those guys have good years.
Yes.
They know if they get on, I'm going to have a good year.
A couple hundred hits from both of them, that'd be nice, huh?
Yeah. You'll be smiling like that all year.
Speaking of that, everybody will want to know how your wrist is feeling.
I feel good. Obviously I had that little scare about 3 weeks ago, but that's long behind me, and we had a great medical plan coming into spring training. Obviously take it a little bit slow, and we're starting to ramp it up. It's my first time getting 4 IBs in a game, and everything feels good. The body feels good. The wrist feels good. So that's right where we need to be going into the season next week.
I noticed the other day, and I asked you about this, you looked a little thinner, but you said you had a little bout of food poisoning too. Are you about to get your strength back?
Yeah, I'm getting there. I've been working hard. I had someone cook for me 5 times a week in the off season, so I really watched what I ate this off season. So I did lose a few pounds coming into the season, but obviously about a week ago I had a little food poisoning. I lost about 7 pounds. A little TMI, but it's I'm getting there. I'm a couple pounds away from being back to normal.
Freddie, was there ever a time where you woke up saying, I'm like the last man standing on this ball club? And if so, what went through your mind when all this stuff started happening again this offseason with the turnover?
A little different, because my name came up pretty early. But Coffey came out and calmed that down real quick, and I really appreciated that. Playing with Anderson the last few years, definitely tough to see him go. But the return of Sean Newcomb, Ellis, it's pretty incredible what we got. Those guys are going to be good here soon with a little bit more seasoning. And obviously with Shelby going to the Diamondbacks, you saw on display Endurance Ciarte. He's a special player. And obviously Dansby Swanson is going to be here sooner rather than later. And obviously Aaron Blair, who, that's a big boy throwing hard. And I think we're going to see him soon as well. But, I think it came full circle for me. All these trades last couple of years, it's just the returns we got this year is definitely something special. And, it's good to be a Braves fan.
Is it hard as a player who wants to win every day, and we don't know what the tail of the season is going to do, obviously, but is it hard to delay that gratification and know that the best days are to come in a situation in a game where you play so many games and you want to win every single one of them?
I think that's, you can't really think about that as a position player. Everybody's talking about 2017, 2018, but we got 25 guys in this dugout that are worried about 2016. So when that comes, but we're worried about this year and these 162 games that start on Monday, and we're going to try and hopefully have a little something to say about it when we didn't expect them to be here this early. So hopefully that happens sooner rather than later.
But I agree with you, Freddie, especially when you have so many veterans on your club. You've got a bunch of guys who have been playing for a long time and know how to play the game.
Exactly. So. A lot of guys, a lot of media come in and say, man, you guys are going young. If you guys actually look at our team, we're not that young with the guys that are going to be on our team. So,
I think the youngest guy that's going to be a position player, I think, is Jace Peterson. If you look at it, and Inciarte, those are your youngest guys. Everybody, I'm 26. We got Eric Ibar, who's over 30. So we got a lot of veteran guys that know how to win, and hopefully that translates and score some runs this year more than we did last year, and take some pressure off the pitchers. So hopefully that happens this year.
It's fun to play with a chip on your shoulder, isn't it?
Definitely. When you see those little rankings come out and they project us that low, everybody in this clubhouse wants to have something to say about, that's not going to feel good. We just want something to say for them to say in September, October that, we proved a lot of people wrong.
What's it like having Chipper Jones as a special assistant / hitting coach?
Yeah, it's definitely nice. When you have a future Hall of Famer here every single day for a couple of weeks, he's really taken to it. He's really helping, not only me out, but all the other guys. And, his insight for the game is, sometimes he's too smart for us, but, he's one of the best to ever play the game. And, it's definitely nice having that walking around the clubhouse when you need him.
And you know what else? He's back in town. He lives in town now, and he's brought his four-wheeler with him just in case. And I'm so excited about this bobblehead.
Oh, I know. They showed me kind of what it's going to look like, and it's definitely going to be something cool. That was kind of a cool idea, and, obviously it wasn't very fun in the moment, but it's definitely fun now.
Please tell me that any scene from Dumb and Dumber wasn't going through yours or his head while that car ride was taking place.
In the middle of it, I just was so cold, and I just wanted to get home, and, nothing was going through my head at that time except for just hold on to him for dear life.
Well, for those that don't know, at Snowmageddon a couple of years ago, Chipper had to go rescue Freddie on a four-wheel all-terrain vehicle, so that's what the bobblehead will be this year, I'm told.
1 ball, 1 strike to Teoscar Hernandez. And with a good arm, blows it right on by. Too many guys throwing 95 to 99, huh, Freddie?
Yeah, you used to want to get to the bullpen a few years ago, and now you don't want to get to the bullpen, so it's times are changing. It's one bullpen guy blows out, they seem to have 6 more ready to come up throwing 98, 99. So I'm just kind of happy that Ken Giles is on this Astros team, not in the Phillies rotation anymore.
Well, I'm sure they'll come up with somebody.
They always do.
Yeah.
Well, Freddie, we appreciate your time. Can't wait to get started in a week. Keep it rolling here in the final few days of spring training, and let's get ready for Max Scherzer and the Nationals.
I appreciate it, guys. See you guys next week.
Glad you're feeling good.
I appreciate it.
Freddie Freeman with us here in Orlando. Jose Ramirez is the man on the mound for the Braves. Oscar Hernandez pops it out by foul.
No questioning Ramirez's velocity. He's been 95, 96 this whole inning. But he's walked a guy and hit a guy, and that's kind of been the tale of his spring. There have been flashes of utter brilliance, and then other times of where's the plate.
If I'm not mistaken, he's the only guy that's out of options.
Yes.
So if he doesn't make this club, Braves would expose him to the rest of Major League Baseball. I would assume someone would take a chance on a guy that throws as hard as he does. But that has yet to be determined. Full count pitch for Hernandez now with 2 on, 1 out, tie game. And that's pulled toward third and into left field for a hit. Pena's going to come home and score. Stops at third base, and Hernandez with a terrific bat turns that pitch around and doubles into the left field corner, and that puts Houston back in front. So 10-9 Astros here in the 8th inning, and Colin Moran will dig in. Had a nice night. He's homered, singled, scored twice, and he's knocked in 2. Hits that one a ton toward right. And it's over the head. Here comes Hernandez around third. The throw to the plate. Lavarnway with a swipe tag. It's eyelash late. Moran has a 4 RBI game.
Well, I like him a lot. Home run, a single, a double, 4 RBIs. Jumped on that fastball. He couldn't run it down. It looked like Hernandez went back to tag up at second base and still was able to score with his speed.
Hey, Colin, you're Irish out.
K.D. Kane couldn't catch up to that one in right. And Tony Kemp bats for the second time. He flied out to left, his only appearance. 12 runs, 14 hits for Houston. 9 runs, 11 hits for the Braves today. Matt Whistler and Miguel Gonzalez. Braves in Baltimore tomorrow. The Yankees are here on Wednesday. Julio Teheran and Ivan Nova. To first. Low throw. Ramirez can't dig it out. He kicked it right back to his first baseman. And all hands are safe.
Nice stop. Two guys pinballed it back to him.
Blake Lally's at first.
Lally's a catcher by trade, but they've been working him some at first and third. Thinking he might evolve into a utility / emergency type catcher.
So Ramirez's long inning continues. 3 straight hits. He threw that one into the stands.
All 3 innings in which the Braves have scored tonight started with a walk. This inning, after a strikeout, a walk got the Astros going. One of the things that plagued the Braves in September last year was having leads and not being able to protect them late. More in the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings. And one figures that the bullpen is going to be more experienced and better this year for sure. But if, like Freddie Freeman said, they've got some confidence that they're going to score some runs, boy, they're going to have to nail those games down when they do get the leads.
It really is back to health. Jim Johnson's back. Vizcaino has experience closing games out. Pretty tight zone.
That'll be an interesting decision about who's going to be the closer. You know, is it going to remain Vizcaino or will really return to that role? No indication really yet how that's going to play out. Nice problem to have.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, the runner at first goes. And a line drive. Lally spears that. That'll be an easy double play. Houston plays hit and run and pays the price, and that'll retire the side. 3 across in the top of the 8th.
Your projects have met their match. Introducing the Work Switch.
Well, this will be a special season for John Schuerholz. 50 seasons in baseball, 2 World Series championships, all those division titles. His incredible work as the Braves general manager. And John will be honored later this summer, along with Andrew Jones, as a 2016 inductee into the Braves Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's a great thing. Great thing. And well-deserved, and maybe that will be a precursor to another Hall of Fame. Should be.
I'll always remember something Peter Gammons wrote about 10 years ago about Bobby Cox and John Schuerholz in the Hall of Fame. He said, can we just go ahead and put them in now, because it's not like they're going to be any better at their jobs. Both men too modest, I'm sure, to agree with that sentiment publicly, but I certainly did. And congratulations to Bobby Cox, obviously, and to John Schuerholz later this summer. This is Sean Kazmar leading off the Atlanta 8th. Ken Giles is the Houston closer. He'll get some work here. As Kazmar drives that in the air toward left center. That's the first out. Houston had a good bullpen last year, but it wasn't a strikeout bullpen, and at times that cost them in postseason play. They feel like they've addressed that in what's turned out to be a 5-player for 2-player deal with the Phillies to get the Phillies closer into Minute Maid Park.
Yeah, the cost and value of closers has gone up dramatically over the last 3 or 4 years, and you can look at those numbers and pretty much ignore them, because once the season starts and the bell rings, this guy will be a great addition to their ball club.
It's hard to believe it was 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, really. The Braves had such a great rivalry with the Astros, that incredible playoff game down in Houston. Jordan Edgerton pops one to the left. There's the second out. Houston's a great baseball town. Great fans, knowledgeable fans, beautiful ballpark, terrific city. And after all those years of building, rebuilding, retooling, remodeling, whatever you want to call it, last year they had that season that everyone loves, the season where you come out of nowhere and make it to postseason play.
When they were in their heyday, winning division titles and had Biggio and Bagwell, etc. Remember the bullpen they had at one time?
Lidge, Dotel, and Wagner.
Not bad, huh?
Not bad.
At the end of the ball game. Yeah, that was a pretty good threesome. Base hit for Lally.
And now A.J. Hinch is making his way onto the field. And he's going out to see Jake Marisnick, it looks like, and he's trying to wave off the trainer.
They may have been watching him on that first fly ball into left center. The left fielder had to go a long way to get it.
So Kemp's going to grab an outfield glove. He's going to move from second base to center field. And Jose Fernandez is going to check in from the Marlins rotation to come in and play second base. Just kidding about that, but it is Jose Fernandez. And here's Gordon Beckham. And there's a strike. There's another one of the new faces, but a veteran player. He's been around a while. Knows all about the Braves way of playing, Braves tradition. So first start for him. That's taken downstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. I guarantee you when the Braves expressed interest in Gordon Beckham, I'll bet you a phone call was made to our pal Greg Walker down in Willacoochee, Georgia, who's probably watching the game tonight. You know it. Greg was the hitting coach for the White Sox when Gordon was there. Both Greg and Carmen are doing great. 2 balls and a strike for Gordon Beckham.
I'd like to have some of Carmen's pimento cheese here right now. If Augusta National ever finds out about her pimento cheese, there's going to be a big change made over there.
Might be. It'd be great. 2 balls and a strike. Foul out of play. It's 2-2. Jack-of-all-trades player for the Braves this year. Play second, he can play third, probably can handle short pitch for you, probably first base too.
When we talk about these veterans on the ball club, there are guys that and able to play other positions. If something were to happen, heaven forbid, to one of those infielders, these are guys that can step in like Gordon and play every day.
They're major league players.
Yeah, they are, and have been everyday guys. They're not guys that step in for a week and then all of a sudden, you know, the holes in their swings begin to show up or something like that. They can handle it.
Yeah. Track record.
Yeah.
Here we go again with foul ball fest. It must be a shortstop thing. First it was Ibar, now it's Beckham. Dropping up the pitch count to Ken Giles. $5,679 the attendance tonight. And a bolt to left. Beckham earned that hit. And that one might roll to the warning track. It will.
He's finishing with a flourish and off a tough pitcher as well. Good at bat, fought off some tough pitches. Looked like he got a breaking ball here. And it stayed on the inside third of the plate. He didn't flinch. Ripped it. Good at bat.
So back-to-back hits off Giles. Here's Katie Kang. run would tie it up. That's outside. 1 ball, 1 strikes.
Giles pitched here a couple of days ago in a game we had and did not strike out a batter in the inning of work. And tonight the Braves have had some good swings on him. No strikeouts as yet.
Well, the old familiarity might be working as that ball's bounced up the middle. He will be the 3rd and final out. Braves threaten, can't push across a run. We're headed to the 9th. MLB.TV Premium. Everything you've come to expect and more. New low price for 2016. Watch every out-of-market game of all 30 teams live in true HD and over 400 supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Joe and Chip with you along with our great Fox Sports crew. We head to the 9th inning and Jason Hirsch is on the mound for the Braves. He was really impressive the other day late in the ball game in relief.
Throwing hard too.
He'll face Carlos Gomez. It's going to be fun for Hirsch. Face real live big league hitters late in spring training. He was throwing the hard the other day, but his final 3 pitches were 83-mile-an-hour changeups for a strikeout that ended the inning.
He's a guy that he was drafted so high out of college by the Braves. He was projected to be a starter, but he has evolved in perhaps a guy that they're looking at more at the end of the game. And with his kind of stuff, I can see why.
Well, you just said the price for closers is exceptionally high if you can develop your own. There's that changeup. Gomez corkscrewed into the ground. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Watch this pitch.
Really a good spot, too.
bounce toward Lally at first. Gomez is the first out. I guess the challenge for Hirsch will be, can he keep all 3 of his pitches on time out of the bullpen? Closer, it's only 2. He's got 3 good ones.
Yeah, he's been very impressive.
Here's Preston Tucker. Tucker, part of the Astros home run hitting barrage tonight. They've hit 5 of them. This came back-to-back in the second after Gomez launched one.
Yeah, if you miss Gomez, he hit one on top of the Braves batting cage out in left center.
The Braves going to do with that baseball what the Cubs did with Schwarber and Wrigley Field, and put a plexiglass box and make a memorial.
I don't know.
Home run. Probably not. 1 ball, 1 strike. Don't forget, opening day Monday. Joe and I will have it for you at 4 o'clock. Don't forget Braves Live, a 2-hour Braves Live with Jerome and the gang live on set at Turner Field. Make your plans to join us. Long throw from short. Raleigh to stretch, but not really in time. Tucker legs out an infield hit. Ball perfectly placed. So bookend hits for Preston Tucker tonight.
Too long a throw, especially having to go to his right for Edgerton. Was that Beckham? They've been switching back and forth. Whoever it was, no chance having to go that far to get the ball. That was Beckham. For sure, if you are a pitcher in this organization and you are at one of the 2 higher levels, either Mississippi or Gwinnett, everybody knows, of course, if you're in Gwinnett, you're just a phone call away if you get called up. But the same could be said for AA. As many guys have been called up from AA over the last couple of years. I think it's approaching 10, might be somewhere on 7 or 8 right now. So if you first go to AA out of spring training, you can't go down there with your dauber down thinking I should be in AAA, because the way things are going right now, you might get a call before somebody in AAA.
Just think about, I think you and I were talking about that the other day. Think of the pitching staffs the Braves are going to have at AAA and AA and Single A this year. That was perfectly placed by Tyler White. Houston's got him first and third with 1 out here in the 9th inning. And it's, as far as minor league pitching talent's concerned, it's an embarrassment of riches for the Braves. It's something about which the organization is extremely excited, justifiably so. Bush has given up a couple of soft hits. And Houston looks to add to a 3-run lead.
Yeah, the last one's a change-up that he just reached out and kind of one-handed into the hole in right field. So let's see what he can do here with a little pressure on him to try to keep a run from crossing.
And a catcher in the box. Ground ball might get you 2 and get you to the bottom of the 9th inning. Fireworks at the Mouse House going off in the distance.
Really?
Swing the bat.
Pena's trying to win the on-base percentage championship with the Grapefruit
You're up
League.
12-9. Don't know what he was thinking.
Swing and a miss.
Deserved that.
There we go. Hirsch has a strikeout. 2 down. And here's Worth. There we go.
You know, the week that we've been down here, I'm not sure if it's fireworks or thunder.
I was going to say.
It's been
a little damp.
Yes, it has.
We were joking. Our first game was rained out early. Second game we had a delay and a near no-hitter. That was a rough way to start the telecast schedule.
And then extra innings.
Right.
Made up for it.
We are approaching a 3.5-hour spring training extravaganza in regulation.
84 changeup, 96 fastball.
Let's see why Worth was a little late. Tapped off the plate. Hirsch has it. He'll load up and throw to first in time. And a very nice job to pitch out of first and third trouble with a strikeout and a comebacker. Last call for the Braves. We head to the home ninth.
What?
Is sponsored by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. And Landmark Automotive Group. Always the best deal. Always.
George Hip with you for the bottom of the ninth inning. Houston leads at 12-9. Raymond Goudouin is on to pitch for them. Sean Godfrey will grab a bat and hit first. Godfrey batting in Hector Oliveira's spot. Oliveira, one of the highlights for the Braves tonight. The big highlight. 3 hits, 2 runs, 4 RBIs, including a pair of doubles. A.J. Brzezinski had a couple of RBIs. Chase Peterson had an RBI. Mike Foltynewicz started. Touched up by the home run ball. He gave up 4 of them in 3 innings tonight. Good velocity, looked free and easy with fastball. Another start down here in Florida, and we'll see how quickly he can get ready for regular season duty. Again, the Braves don't need a 5th starter until April 12th. Williams Perez followed. He worked 4 innings. He had about 4 innings worth of running on base paths when Ibar was up there.
No kidding.
17 pitches or so. He was standing at first base. Williams gave up 3 runs tonight. And that was the plan. They were going to have Williams Perez piggyback Fultonevich's start. May do that again. Final spring tune-up. Godfrey didn't get that pitch. He's out number 1.
I would have to think that somebody is paying attention to what Jason Hirsch has done the last couple of outings and got their attention. Certainly got mine.
Excellent changeup and a live fastball. And he
slider too.
Goes right after people. So we'll keep an eye on him as Carlos Martinez bats. Pretty good idea too.
Good one.
Back-to-back strikeouts. Braves are down to their last chance. Fans, mark your calendars. You know Monday, April 4th is MLB opening day right here on Fox Sports Southeast. Braves and Nats from Turner Field. Final home opener in Turner Field history. Action kicks off with a special edition of Braves Live that starts at 2, only on Fox Sports Southeast and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Jeff Francoeur, the batter. Jeff's had a good night. Checked in midway through the ball game. He's got an RBI double that tied the game for the Braves at 9-9. That was in the 7th. This time of night, anything close like that's probably going to be run up.
Jeff's stances have evolved over the years. He had a real wide stance at one point, and is certainly more straight up, shortened his stride.
Sharply hit and bobbled. Play it short, throw to first in time, and that's your ball game. The old standby 4-6-3 ground out hands the win to the Astros by a final score of 12-9. We'll talk about it after we take our final timeout.